Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing a review on the Caramel Sundays 2 Wick 100% soy candle in the scent Peach Pecan Crunch. I purchased my candle during the March restock, so this candle has been sitting and I wanted to revisit a Caramel Sundays candle that has had about, I would say 3 months cure time. This will be available in the June restock, so I wanted to give you my thoughts before that occurred. The notes listed read top gooey peach, brown sugar, middle maple candied pecans, bottom warm Belgian bread. This is a 22-ounce candle, or it's under the 22-ounce category. However, the weight listed online reads 17.8 ounces. So that's more of the fill weight of the wax itself. Let's go on to the scent on cold. You get peach right off the bat, and I think that it's well executed. I know some people avoid peach fragrances because it can come off a little bit like screechy or like public restroom type. But no, this smells like a very juicy Georgia peach that is sweetened up with the maple. You are able to detect pecans, at least my sister is, because she really doesn't like pecan in any type of home fragrance. And she does pick that up very prominently. I think it's because she dislikes the scent. But I get it more when I burn the candle and the peach melds in and creates more of like a peach crumble or like peach pecan crumble, that all the ingredients are getting melded in the oven. So, okay, the strength on cold, I'd give it more of a 7 out of 10. While burning, I feel like this is, again, an issue with Caramel Sundays is the performance. So I got anywhere from a 3 to a 7 out of 10. But the 7 out of 10 only occurred in my medium-sized bedroom when I had my door closed, when I hit the halfway mark. So before that, I would say the first burn was pretty good. It was more around like a 5.5. Then I kind of had some, I'm not sure what's the best way to describe it besides just like inconsistencies with strength and throw. Because sometimes when I burn a soy candle, I get maybe about like a 5.5, or sometimes I get like a 4. So this is a candle that I feel like you kind of have to gamble around with. And I thought that it being 3 months cured, I wouldn't have this inconsistency with the burn. But besides that, there's no real sitting issues. The wax isn't discolored. The scent starts throwing very, very lightly though. At around the 45-minute mark, it takes maybe up to an hour to pull out. With these Caramel Sundays wicks, sometimes they curl into the wax and self-extinguish, but that wasn't the case with this particular candle. So I'm really happy about that. No issues pulling out. It did form mushroom tops a tiny bit. Sometimes Caramel Sundays candles do form mushroom tops, so you do need to trim them. So this candle is really nice, especially for people who love peach gourmands. That's hardly ever used. And sometimes peach notes can go a little bit wrong. I'm looking at you, Bath & Body Works, because their peach notes lean way too fruity and slightly, they either lean candy-like or perfume-like. It's really hard for me to find a peach note from Bath & Body Works that is like a true gourmand. And I feel like this fragrance from Caramel Sundays, I could picture myself eating the actual dessert. Okay, as far as the warm Belgian bread, this is one of the notes that I feel like comes out, especially when the candle is burning, because on cold, I mainly just got peach. The brown sugar note was very subtle, melded in with the pecans, and it didn't smell cooked that much on cold. I don't know if this is like just in my mind, but I felt like when it's burning, I feel like the peach softens up. It's almost as if this candle is the actual dessert cooking in the oven, because the peach becomes more like caramelized. I feel like you get the pecan note a little bit more. It's almost as if the dessert itself is cooking in your oven and you're smelling the actual thing in real life, because I feel like it smelled a little bit cold when it wasn't lit, and now it just warms up my space. And let's talk about the projection and the strength. So as far as the projection, this is a candle that pretty much just stays where it's at. It doesn't fill up my medium-sized bedroom quite evenly. So as far as projection goes, I'd maybe give it like a 6 out of 10. If I have my door closed, I'd maybe give it a 7 out of 10. But again, I don't like having my door closed when I burn my candles. I like it when it wafts into the hallway and this candle just, it doesn't have the strength and throw. I think this is better suited in a bigger format if it's available, or if you have it burning as like a desk candle or in the background, or maybe in like a small workspace. For me, I do like scents that are very, I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound weird. I like scents that are very prominent. I feel like if I'm going to have like soot accumulate in my walls, whether that be from a paraffin candle or a soy candle, which they both produce soot, sorry to say, I want the scent to be extremely noticeable, right? I'm going through the hassle of cleaning my walls. I'm going through the hassle of like having this in the air. Might as well have it be straight in my face. Also, the thing about that is I don't have any other a person's opinion to worry about, since I'm not bringing this in a like communal living space. Like, for example, I don't have a partner that doesn't like candles, or I don't have someone who is going to get a headache, which I do know you need to be mindful of. But as far as this candle scent goes, I really enjoy it. I think as far as the name, where it's called Crunch, there's nothing crunchy in this candle that I smell. If anything, I do smell the pecans, but they don't smell crispy. They don't smell like, let's say, like in a pie, how there's like a crumble note or like a pie crust note. I don't get anything from that. I do get more of that bread note that I mainly just pick up while the candle is burning. But anyways, let me go ahead and show you an overhead view. All right, my candle holder is a little bit crooked, ignore that, but my candle has been burning for about 2 hours, and I have a pretty nice even wax pull. I can really smell it because I'm very close to the candle, within about maybe 5 feet of it. But as I get further and further away to the opposite side of my room, the scent becomes less noticeable. So unfortunately, I would categorize this candle as light to a light medium, which unfortunately for the price that Caramel Sunday charges for their candles, I feel like that just isn't up to par with other candles that I could purchase from other places that will give me the same performance for a fraction of the cost. But if you really want candles that are 100% soy, I feel like this is on par with other 100% soy candle performances, which I feel like paraffin just throws the scent a bit better, but that's just me. Again, even wax pull, no fallout, no issues with the wicks or excessive mushroom tops. Some of my Caramel Sundays candles have struggled with soot issues, and that hasn't been the case. I definitely think that this is a candle that smells a bit better and stronger the further you get down. So I think I might hold off, or after I'm done filming this review, I'll probably extinguish this candle and save it when the weather isn't as hot as it's been. I do notice, because I've had this burning with my AC on, without my AC on, and sometimes AC helps kind of throw the scent a little bit more. But I feel like if anything, this performs better when there's no AC or no drafts, because the scent is so light that it kind of, instead of it being concentrated really close to the candle, it kind of pushes it further away, and it's just not strong enough to, I guess, hold its own, versus another scent that would be a little bit stronger. I think it would kind of waft all throughout, but this one, it just kind of, the AC, I guess, in a way dilutes it. But yeah, let me go ahead, change the angle, and give you my final thoughts. Overall, I feel like this Caramel Sundays 2-wick 100% soy candle and peach pecan crunch is very lovely. The scent itself, I just wish it performed better. And when I first read the fragrance notes and the name itself, I wanted more emphasis on the crunch portion, so slightly more of a pecan, like how nuts are very crunchy. But this is more, if anything, like gooey, smooth, syrupy. Just think of like a cooked peach, and that's kind of what you're getting. So I personally would want a little bit more of the pecan note, or just to mimic that, like, it's not a pie crust, but more of that crumble note. So there's that. I think if you have an aversion to overly sweet fragrances and maple syrup, this might teeter the line for you. So I would say to get this in a wax melt if possible, because I am able to detect that like that maple syrup note, which a lot of people don't really enjoy in candles. I personally do, but yeah, there's that. As far as the performance, for $31.99 in a 2-wick, I just don't think that this is the performance that I want, especially given that this candle is more on the expensive side. Maybe if I placed a higher value of soy candles, I'd be like, okay, $31.99, I'd pay that like 10 times. But me personally, I don't mind paraffin or a paraffin blend. So yeah, unfortunately though, Bath and Body Works, I have to give this a Caramel Sundays. I don't think Bath and Body Works, I'm not as familiar with Goose Creek, has come out with a candle that smells like this, because normally their peach scents struggle a bit and they go more towards that like fruity route, body care route, or like fake peach scents. So if you want an authentic peach that's cooked in the oven, very sweet, juicy, borderline syrupy, then this Caramel Sundays candle is for you, but just maybe purchase it in a bigger format. But if you purchase it in a 4-wick, that's like $64.99, and I don't know if even if you purchase it in a bigger format, if it will perform any better. But as far as did a longer cure time make this candle perform any better? Potentially, but I personally don't think so, because this candle is from the March restock and I burned it in June. So that's what, about 3 months, not including if this was poured earlier on in the month of, let's say, end of February. So given that, and it's still light, yeah, I don't think that letting your Caramel Sundays candles cure for a longer period of time is gonna significantly, exponentially, drastically change the performance. You might see minor improvements, but yeah, I just wouldn't purchase this candle. You think it's light and you let it cure for 6 months. I think it's still going to be a light candle, but it's going to slightly improve, maybe like 0.2 or something. So instead of it being like a 5, it'd be like a 5.2. Am I going to repurchase this candle? No. Do I like the scent? Yes. Would I recommend it? Unfortunately, no, because I feel like despite this being a really lovely fall fragrance, heck, year-round fragrance, the performance just isn't there. But thankfully, I haven't gotten any sooting issues, any discoloration. Again, no issues with my wicks curling into the wax, which maybe it's improved, maybe not, because this is back from a March pour. So anyways, a little bit rambly, but thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully, if you get this, you have a better performance than me. And if not, there are other candles out there. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.